It's Emily here from Peach Street Crafts, and in today's video I'm going to be finishing up this wedding album. And I say finishing up, but the video was getting kind of long and I was getting kind of tired, so I didn't actually finish it today, but I only added just a couple more things after today just to complete it, and then I did the cover. And I think I was originally planning to do a separate video for that, like a part 2, but I'll have to look through and see if I can find it, because I filmed this a while ago. And what this is, it's actually my brother-in-law's wedding. So him and Sunny met a long time ago. Sunny's from the Netherlands and Nick is from America. And I remember in high school, Nick was always on the phone with Sunny, like even in class when he wasn't supposed to be. And anytime I would go hang out with him or, just talk to him, it was always about Sunny. And so they were able to meet like a couple years ago. Nick flew out to the Netherlands to meet Sunny for the first time, like in person. And then now Sunny has moved down here officially. He's working on getting his work visa and all that stuff sorted. And of course, part of that was, officiating the marriage and having a wedding. And it was just a really beautiful, smaller wedding, but I loved it and I was so honored to be a part of it. They're planning to have like a bigger wedding later, so they didn't want to do any sort of like professional photography for this one, so I offered to take some pictures for them since I have like a higher end camera, even if I don't use it all the time and I'm not as skilled. But I did just want to, document and capture some of these moments for them, and a lot of the pictures turned out really good, and I'm glad that I was able to do this. And for Christmas, I wanted to put all of these pictures together for them in the album, so that way they kind of have it as a keepsake forever. So that's what I'm doing here, and as you saw in the beginning, a lot of the album was already done. I had already printed most of the pictures and kind of arranged them where I wanted them to be. And then I just kind of flipped through the pictures that I had at the beginning as well. So I had some like 2x3 photos, 4x6, and then I had some larger 5x7s. So I was just kind of going through and filling in those blank and empty spots that I hadn't yet done. So this is the first one. And I love this picture so much. This was like one of the first ones that I took when I got there. They were just kind of pumping each other up and getting ready to walk down the aisle together. So I loved capturing those like kind of before moments of the wedding. And yeah, a lot of this album, actually almost all of it, is using the Magical Forest collection from Crate Paper. This was one of my favorite albums ever, and it was really hard to use some of the pieces because I just have so much love for like the little frogs and the bunnies and the foxes. All the little woodland creatures have my heart. But this is going to be something that they have forever and that I can always look at later too whenever I visit them. So I definitely don't feel bad using some of my favorite pieces for something so special. And I know that this album I'm pretty sure it's intended for like documenting younger kids based on some of the sayings like little one or be strong, be brave, but I found that it worked really well for this album because I think that Sunny and Nick are really brave for going the distance and really going the extra mile. They have a love that's so special, and it took a lot of hard work in order for them to make it official and have the wedding. And so I just thought it was kind of like the perfect collection to go with their special day and some of these pictures. Their wedding was at this beautiful like historic park as well, so most of the pictures are very green, lots of trees and nature. And this collection has a lot of elements that match that, like the little woodland creatures and the ones about adventuring and exploring, and even the color scheme with like the mushrooms and the kind of darker colors I felt worked really well. And I tried really hard to make it not so girly, especially because when you think of a wedding album, it's something that's like very romantic colors, lots of pinks and flowers and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to remember that this was for Nick and Sunny, so I didn't need to add like a whole lot of extra girly stuff. Not that they would have minded anyways. I mean, they love the album no matter what, but I just kind of had to go outside my comfort zone to make this and try to make it a little bit more plain. So I left that wood pattern paper just plain, so that way the front page, that's the vellum, that's kind of like the cover for it, I wanted that to kind of stand alone, and I felt like if I put pictures behind it, it wouldn't have looked as good. It would have been too busy. So as you can see now, like I said, this video is me just filling in a lot of the stuff that I just didn't already have done. So I'm just kind of going through and finding pictures for some of the empty spots. I'm adding some more decorative elements as well, so you'll see me kind of go through that. And I just love this ephemera piece so much. It's so pretty with the butterflies and moths on it. And yeah, I've been looking for more of this collection for a while. It's such a bummer that crepe paper like kind of discontinues collections after a while, because I would love to get my hands on older stuff, or even, I mean, this isn't even that old of a collection and it's now impossible to find, but you know, I guess it makes you enjoy it while you have it, and be on the market for stuff that's similar, and you know, just kind of have an open mind for things to try, because you know, if it was only the same collections on the market, then maybe I wouldn't be as brave when it comes to trying new color. Like I would always want to use this one, you know, I wouldn't want to stray away from it that much. So I guess that's why they do that, but I do wish it was a little bit easier to find stuff, especially if you have like, you know, older things that you've made and you, over the years, you want to add to it, but you don't have anything left from that collection. That's kind of sad that you just kind of have to use stuff that you have and make it match, but oh well. I haven't purchased any new collections in a while. I do need to try some of the new stuff that's coming out. I think Maggie Holmes Market Square is the newer one, and or maybe that one's not out yet. I think that one's coming out in the fall. And the Round Trip collection looks really cute too. It reminds me a lot of the crepe paper here in their collection. So I do need to shop around for some new stuff, because a lot of my stuff, it's not necessarily older, but just things that aren't really as popular anymore. And I know I always feel motivated and inspired to craft when I have a nice package from Scrapbook.com coming into the mail, and it really makes me happy and want to craft more, which I need to be doing. So if you guys have any new collections that you're using, or old collections, let me know in the comments like what it is that's on your desk right now, what you're loving. I know it's different for everybody. A lot of the times it just depends on what you're working on, but I would still love to check out some new stuff to add to my stash. So again here, I just, I'm doing a lot of stitching too. I do the stitching off camera, so you won't always see when I'm adding stitching. And unfortunately the lighting wasn't that great either. I probably should have zoomed in just a little bit so that way you could see it better. But a lot of the stuff that I'm adding has stitching even if you can't see it. So that little card with the butterflies on it, I stitched that onto the vellum before I added the trim. And then I just taped it onto that, the rainbow paper from the beginning. And on this one, I actually didn't even put like a background scrapbook paper behind it. I just slid it into the spot, and I found that I really liked the way that it looked with the white paper behind it. Which now that I'm looking at it, I wish I wouldn't have done that, because none of the collection really uses like bright whites. It's all like cream colors or off-whites or like kind of dusty white yellow colors. So this one definitely looked a little bit bold whenever you're flipping through, but you know, it's already said and done, and I think overall the pink of it takes over and you don't really notice the white as much, but you can kind of see it there whenever I slid it back into the pocket. It's really bright. So on this page, this was I think a 4x4, and I was really struggling because I didn't have enough pictures that were not 4x4, a 2x3. There was 4 spots for 2x3 photos, goodness gracious, but I didn't have enough 2x3 photos to fit. So what I ended up doing was I looked at a couple of my 4x6 photos to figure out which one I could maybe cut in half to fit into one of the 2x3 spots, or 3x4 spots. I think I've been saying 2x3. You guys know what I mean. You know all the measurements for these albums. They're always the same across the board. Anyways, to get into the smaller spots, 3x4, I had to cut this 4x6 photo in half. So That's what I'm doing here. And I don't think it looked too bad. I definitely think it looks a little bit off in the middle, but I think it kind of is cool because you can see that it's the same picture even though it's disconnected, and so it works. And then I just put this photo on the back so that way I have some room for like more decorative spots. And I wanted to continue to add journaling and stuff in here, which, like I said, even though this video was me kind of mostly completing the journal, I did go back and just add a few more decorative elements. I added things to the outside of the pockets because I think that sometimes that looks really nice if you add things not to the inside but the outside, especially like chipboard stickers and, you know, pieces of ephemera that won't fall off. So I did do that after and added some more like tags and stuff where they can add their own journaling. For this one, I'm pulling out a set of vintage ephemera that I got from Tim Holtz. I think it was from probably Hobby Lobby or somewhere like that. And it's going to be mostly covered up once I put the chipboard on it, but I just didn't want the chipboard to blend completely into the background. Like, I wanted there to be a little bit of layering there. So that's what I'm doing here. And I don't remember which piece I ended up using. But yeah, I just love the colors in this collection. It's like muted, but still colorful with the blues and the pinks and the gold tones. And I even love those like kind of mustard green colors. It's so pretty. Another one that I like that kind of matches this one is the fresh bouquet. And that's a really good one to use for weddings as well. I just wish I had more of it left. Because soon I'll be documenting my own wedding here. And I'm sure that will be a fun process to film. I just need to find the time to do that, and of course the perfect collection, so maybe that's what I'll be on the lookout for next. But yeah, I'm just finishing up this little piece here. And I know it looks like I'm gonna do more, but I'm actually finishing up here because I felt like it was taking a while. So I will see you guys next time.